Oh, Tara, it's been so long. Where have you been? Big old hug.
She gives you a hug back, and she says, "It's so good to see you." She says, "I've been kind of out and about, but kind of been been here in town." She says, "Do you guys have a minute to talk?"
Yeah.
So she kind of finds a seat and kind of sits down, and she says, I have a proposition for you guys."
All right.
She says, "As you may or may not know, and this is to stay between us." She says, "I wanted to let you know that I'm part of the Shadow Thieves Guild, and my master thief was very impressed by what he's heard about you guys, and thinks that you guys probably have a pretty good chance of winning the final match, and could thus dethrone Auric's warband, Auric and Kellic. She says he wants to place a big bet on you guys with the arena bookmakers, many of whom are under Reikian's control. For the final round, the bookmakers have offered the Shadow Thieves a special odds for wagers against that warband. So would you guys be interested in doing that?"
A special wager against the warband?
She says, "Well, they're actually my master thief of the Shadow Thieves Guild is going to bet against the warband, who has very high favored odds to beat you guys if you make it to the final round." And she said, "If you're willing to do that, he's willing to split a portion of the winnings with you."
So if we beat them, we get a portion of the winnings, basically, right?
Correct. She says, "But there is money that you have to put up front."
All right.
She said, "Now, I know that you guys have been adventuring. We've kind of been competing against each other in certain areas, like the Whispering Cairn. By the way, Stringent Cairn was empty, and we were very disappointed that you guys had completely looted out the Whispering Cairn when we went there." She kind of gives you guys a smirk.
A perform oratory can be used in lieu of sense motive.
Awesome. She seems to be legitimately telling you the truth. She
Alright.
she seems to be very forthright with what's going on. And she says, so the buy-in fee is 2,500 gold.
All right. I'll deduct it.
But if you win, you will get 7,500 in return.
All right.
Good to me.
Calculator time.
All right. So so she kind of agrees and nods, and
It's 2,500 each.
nope, just one person,
Oh,
or
well,
as a group.
small potatoes.
To her, it seems like
Okay.
big potatoes, but
2,500 divided by 4. That's 625 apiece.
all right, there you go.
All right.
And then she says, "I do have a personal favor, though, if you could, please." She says, "If you do go up against Auric, could you please be merciful? Auric and Kellic are my friends. I'd like to see him at least make it through the games and maybe be able to adventure with me later.
Merciful as in we can win, but don't kill them.
Please."
All right. So we can turn our blades or something or other if we have to.
Yes, or just have him, just knock him unconscious or something.
As long as they agree to the same.
She says, "Well, they won't know about the deal, of course, because..."
Not this deal, just if we face them,
She
we
said,
will fight. We will fight not to avoid killing.
She says, I don't think that that Auric would do that. He has never killed in the games."
Okay.
We'll do our best.
Yep.
She says, "That's all I ask."
All right. So I deducted my 625. Oh, I
Alrighty.
deducted 6.
So
I went too high.
so she kind of talks about some other stories and why she's sitting there, just kind of acting like there's kind of blending in, like nothing had really transpired through you guys' discussion, like they were old friends, kind of meeting together and whatnot. And she kind of talks about how they had adventured and killed some a lich out at a castle that was abandoned, and cleaned up some raiding gnolls that were just outside of Daggerford to the north, and just kind of gave some general combat type stories and whatnot, and kind of kind of chatting things up with it and whatnot. Can I have sense motive from anybody? Doesn't matter who or everybody.
I already
Yeah.
know what this is. I got it.
Alrighty. You're all over this, huh, Tanner?
I think so.
I sure
don't know.
wasn't.
We'll see.
So, Tanner, Cormer, Razik, Bose. I have another sense.
I did roll.
Oh, did you? I missed it. Oh, that was yours. I see. Yeah. So, Cormer, you notice that Ecom, your manager, really isn't managing very well. Matter of fact, he seems to not be paying attention to anything with your guys' discussions about your rank or, fighting battles or anything. He seems to be intently watching Loris Rakian and just listening and observing him.
Fire.
Bromance.
Yeah, he seems very almost obsessed with him while you're watching him. All right.
Is he under a spell? Can we tell that?
He doesn't appear to be under a spell. Do you want to look at Rankian and see if he's got a spell cast on him or something?
Sure.
All right, can I have another sense motive? So, you guys notice that there's also everybody at Cormer. So you're so intent on Elcom, you don't see anything else. But everybody else, it really notices that there seems to be kind of a almost a triangle thing going on here. So Elkim is really watching Rankian. Rankian seems to be really observing your guys' movements, who you've talked to, and really kind of seems to be almost every now and then kind of looking at you guys and really trying to study you and really see what's going on, and then more so than any other gladiators within the area. And then of course Coromir is studying Elkim, and Elkim's getting Rankin, and so it's this big triangle thing where you guys are all sort of studying each other over and over throughout the dinner, and seems to be almost a little unnerving to feel him kind of watching you so much.
I'm playing with my Cormir doll anyway, so I'll lift my Cormir doll up towards him and wave at him with Cormir doll's hand. Hi.
Alrighty. So when you do that, he, yeah, no problem. I know it's confusing. So he immediately looks away and acts almost. It's almost obvious that he was watching you, but he tries to make it look like he wasn't watching you. And then so. Ikim is your manager, so he's the one that's watching Rankian, who is the director of the games and is also the one who tried to get you guys killed, who also bought the Apostle Scrolls from Caius, from Zergog, the Mind Flayer. So, and then Rankian is watching you guys with deep intent or deep interest. And then Tira is a girl that the rest of the party had met a lot in Daggerford, and Bose has had this sort of flirtatious little rendezvous going on with her. Nothing outside of being with the group, but there's definitely some flirtation that goes on between them. Cormer, he sees you wave too, and he kind of looks the other way. Loris is Mr. Rankian's first name. Sorry, so it's Loris Rankian. I'll spell him out. Yeah, my bad. I didn't do very good with keeping all the names straight.
No, so I heard one name the first time and then I heard a different name the
Yeah,
second time.
yeah.
But apparently it was the same person.
It is the same person. Yep, my bad. So so that's kind of where we're at and what's going on. Now, you guys have had some time to kind of go around and sort of see the teams, and I'm going to give you guys a list so that way you can see sort of where the teams are ranked, as well as kind of what their difficulty would be if you want to think of it that way, or you know how their bluff, you know, like your guys' bluff check, what they kind of say is their toughness. All right.
Alright.
I just got to drag it to each one of you, so it's going to take a second. And you guys, of course, are at the bottom. Bottom of the list.
That's us, bottom of the list.
We make some money off this baby.
So there's the list of all the groups. Oryx Warband is obviously the big team, and you can see that up there. Pitchblade also was in the final battle last year, and is two dwarven teams, I think, or something. Two dwarves, I think, is what they are. And they were in the last the end battle there for a while. You know, the Gravediggers are actually a bunch of orcs that kind of come into town to kind of fight this battle from one of the orcish areas. The Snow Leopards are people from the north. North area. Let's see, who else do we have? The Iron Hill Monkeys actually have monkeys that fight for them, which is kind of funny. You know, they're not very good, but they get a lot of laughs. They're a big fan favorite. The Draconic Brood actually is people that have drakes that fight for them, so they're pretty impressive. And then let's see who else. The Arcane Arugula right at the top. That's actually an elven team that fights with a lot of magic, which is pretty good fans too. Let's see, the Crazy Eight. They're actually rumored to have escaped from one of the prisons down in Am and do some pretty bizarre and crazy stuff. There was some other ones in here too I wanted to kind of talk about. Was there? I think that's it that I can see for now. Oh, Badlands Revenge. He's the guy that was in front of you. I think he had some gnolls or something like that. And then I think that's it. Yeah. So that's kind of the group and what you guys are against. And if you notice, you guys, besides the Woodchuckers, are the only ones at rank 1. So that'll be the list. So you guys will have the list to keep with you. Do you guys want to place an initial bet on your first fight? You don't even know who you're fighting yet, but
Yeah. I'll
That's the 4 teams. It's a free-for-all, right?
yeah, exactly. So typically what happens is once you find out which teams you're fighting against, it's encouraged that you talk amongst each other because you have a couple hours before your battle to decide tactics. So you can actually team up with people against other teams. You can decide to go it alone. You can talk about fight these, and then once we're down to just us, we'll fight against each other. So there's a lot of discussions that can occur before the battle. You kind of can size each other up to see what things are like.
How much
maybe we should see
flat
about
in that game?
getting an ally in there, at least to the point that if there's only the 2 of us left.
Yeah, that's true. 10 plat for 1 gold.
There are 10 gold for 1 plat.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's the way it is. Sorry.
I got a lot of cash. I'll make a wager.
Alrighty. You guys can wager as a group too. So, all right. I got Bose. I got your bet. You definitely have a taker for your money. So we got that. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I'm just gonna I'm gonna reduce it out of my loot.
Sounds good.
Oops.
How much plat do you guys have? Do you guys have quite a bit too?
14.
14 plat?
Mm-hmm. Not much.
I've got 14.
Tanner, you have 14 too, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go. I'll find another guy to
Yeah, I
bet
got
all
a
of
ton
my.
of gold though. I don't know why I got so much gold.
I got 32,000 gold.
You all
They
have.
all have.
You're all in the 30.
30,000?
Yeah, you're all in the 30,000. Well, you guys have been kind of hanging on to everything and not really selling anything, so this is really essentially all the money from the adventure, to be honest with you.
That's true.
You kind of been exchanging stuff, and you guys have really, I mean, you're probably your equipment's probably way behind.
I'm going to find a low roller to take my bet with the silver, platinum, copper. Then I won't even touch. I'm just going to leave it there on my treasure list. But
No problem.
if I win, I'll know. All I got to do is stick a 0 after. It'll actually be worth something.
Can we give you the number next week? Because I may buy
Yeah.
some gear before we start this off.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Will we have time to buy gear?
Yeah, you're going to, because it's going to be considered bought prior to, when you guys were spending that week or so waiting for him to finish his stuff. So yeah, you guys, let's do this. We'll get the wagers for the first game after you guys are done shopping. So we'll consider that to be all done. So kind of to tie things up, I know we're running late, Cormer. I'm sorry, we're almost done, buddy. So after you guys kind of talk to a bunch of people and kind of have some general banter and whatnot, and you notice Loris Rankin kind of looking at you guys, I mean, people can go up and talk to him too. So if you guys want to go up to talk to Rankin, you could.
Yeah, I'll go speak with him.
Alrighty.
And say hi. I've heard much about you. You have tons of experience here. I understand, and a lot of experience. In the games, this is our first time here, and other than advice to not die or lose, what do you find is some particular things to pay attention to in your opponents as it relates to these games and within the rules for increasing your chances of doing better?
So he looks at you guys and he treats you just
buy
like
him a drink.
Okay, yeah, he treats you as any of the other, all the drinks are free, by the way. He treats you like all the other gladiators, as you notice, so he's been very honorable. He says, welcome, gladiators. Glad to have you as a first-time gladiator. He says, as long as you follow the rules, you fight fairly, you'll win. Very kind of almost terse, like just kind of throwing in some words, just saying, this is what's going on. And, he's kind of looking around and almost acting obviously that he's not trying to pay attention to you like you're nobody, like he doesn't really know you guys.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks around. He says, yep, just fight honorably and nobly, just like I did as a gladiator and as all your predecessors have, and you shall probably do just fine, and probably will make some money here. He says, it usually takes 4 or 5 years for gladiators to really get up to get the champion belt, but if you stick with it, you may get it. Yep, yep, absolutely, yep.
Awesome. Are you sponsoring any groups in this tournament?
Oh no! I have to be completely impartial. I don't sponsor any groups whatsoever. I just run the area, and I collect my fees on the way in, and of course your, the fees for you to come in. So I try to stay completely impartial. So I don't bet on anybody, and I don't sponsor anybody. Nope. Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. I tell them what they ranked us, and so that's why I was seeking advice, because it doesn't look like we're gonna do so well out there. So we want to have every chance we can to. He
kind of looks at you and kind of a sense motive.
Yep, I was actually gonna roll a diplomacy too to see if I could raise his move.
Sure.
And again, that comes off the oratory.
Yeah, no problem. All right. His mood doesn't seem to change at all. And then for the sense motive.
Sense motive, I'll put in the tower.
Yeah, thanks.
Sense tower.
All right. He obviously notices that you are. What do I want to say? Much. You're underplaying your abilities, almost as if he has inside knowledge of what your abilities are. So he says, well, best of luck in the first round, and make sure you come back next year when you guys get lose in the first round. He says, be sure to surrender, though. I'd hate to see some good lives lost. So he says, excuse me, I have other guardians I need to go.
Your advice is greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Goodbye. And he kind of walks away, and you notice his kind of entourage sort of kind of follows him, but kind of keeps looking behind to make sure that you're not trying to harass him or give him any issues at all.
He has an entourage? Damn.
He does, yeah.
We gotta win, guys. I want an entourage.
He's got six bodyguards and a couple other people around him. So, yeah, he does. He's got a big old entourage.
Where's
right.
our entourage? We need Ugg.
What happened to that poor guy? So, as you guys are kind of meandering around a little bit, you notice that the sun has kind of gone down. It's gotten dark, and there's a lot of dancers now kind of surrounding the central bonfire, which seems to have grown quite a bit. And they're kind of whirling around it, almost in kind of like a climactic type of dance that you're seeing. And the flames are roaring and whatnot, and everybody kind of gets quiet in the area, and almost as if they're expecting something, especially the people that have been there. And all of a sudden, you see, some impressive explosions and arcs of fire and lightning kind of burst out of the air from the bonfire, and there's illusions that are kind of going across the sky that show great battles and fights and people cheering and whatnot. And then you see a picture of Auric, which you assume is probably last year's battle, an illusion way up in the sky of him holding a decapitated, what appears to be, what looks like what you would think would a Medusa head would be, in his hand with the sword up, and the crowd cheering, and in the background, and a huge, large explosion of fireworks, and right after that happens, with the big explosion, all the dancers fall to the ground, and Loris announces in a deep baritone voice, "The champion games have begun," and everybody kind of claps and cheers and is all excited, and kind of get the thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. General excitement in the area, and then what happens now is that. Elcom says, "Okay, guys," he says, "they're going to take you down to the cenobi. There's a lift over in the ground. You guys see down at the end, all the gladiators are lining up, and there's actually a lift that comes out of the ground that people are kind of crowding on. They get a group of about 8 or 10 people, and then it goes down underground and then comes back up, and it's taking all the gladiators down. And there's still some people trying to bet as they go, and so you guys kind of get into line and whatnot. And Elcom says, good luck, and I will see you guys tomorrow night after your battle. Hopefully you guys win. We'll talk about the winnings. I'll come down and let you know how you guys did, and we can kind of talk about if you need anything additional that you guys weren't able to get prior to coming in here, and I can bring it down for you after that battle. Tira's also with you. She's kind of hanging off your arm there, Bose, and kind of gives you a little peck on the cheek and says, "Good luck to you guys, and please remember, that we all are counting on you guys, and please take heeding to my request, and I shall see you after the games. I'll be watching from the stands."
All right.
So you guys wait in line and kind of follow down in, and as you guys get down into the ground, you notice that you go through a series of kind of tunnels and whatnot that kind of go through here. There's various rooms, but there's guards everywhere throughout the whole area when you're walking through there. I mean, there's got to be hundreds of guards down there, and they take you kind of around this area. It's kind of a half circle, and then you get to these steps, and you go down these steps down into into another deeper area, which is more like caverns now, and it's quite a bit of ways down, probably 60, 80 feet down. And then you guys sort of walk into this huge, well-lit, warm, kind of big, large cavern. It has kind of an underground stream that kind of washes through, and there's 24 little doors or little lodges that are there for all the different groups. It's really crowded because everybody's there, but it seems very comfortable. There's some murals on the wall showing, fights in the arena and whatnot, and there's chefs and waiters down here, and a lot of guards are kind of spread out all over, and it's pretty crowded, but one of the gladiators says to you guys, "Don't worry about tomorrow. Remember, 6 of these people will be gone, so only 1 out of 4 will still be here, so it'll be a lot better after that. Today's a little cramped." So and then you meet a guy who's kind of standing at the kitchen. His name is Palemon Nador. He kind of waves as you walk by, and he says, "You guys look new. If you get injured, come on down. I'm a healer. I'll be happy to see if I can get you fixed up. And by the way, I make a great breakfast, so please be sure to make breakfast."
All right.
The rest of the gladiators seem, a little too nervous or excited or just not friendly. They don't really want to talk. So after you guys kind of get in there, they kind of people get into their rooms and start talking and whatnot, and you guys kind of go ahead and go to sleep for the night. All right.
So were we able to find anyone that would be in the fights with us, or if they were in the fights with us that
Yeah, so they announce that first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. And the
okay.
fights occur every 2 hours. And depending on your time, the first fight is at 8. And depending on your time, you'll have time to work with the other people and figure out what you want to do. So, but they
Okay.
don't announce it until the morning of each battle.
All right. Makes sense. You don't know who to poison.
Exactly. Exactly.